Welcome to Biz Wire. I'm Joseph Nordstrom in Beijing. Deep divisions surround debate over China's one-child policy, and it appears that those making the economic argument for reform are grabbing the upper hand, though no one expects radical changes. There are signs, though, that China may loosen its one-child policy, which has remained more or less intact for over 30 years. The policy, introduced in the late 1970s to prevent population growth spiraling out of control, has long been opposed by human rights and religious groups, but is now also regarded by many experts as outdated and harmful to the economy. China's government is often portrayed as an efficient decision-making body with not much dissent. However, this issue, one of the more divisive ones, gives a peek inside Zhongnanhai and the various forces at play there. China's population now stands at above 1.35 billion, with a peak projected to come in around 15 years' time before beginning to slowly fall. By some estimates, the total size of the labor force has already peaked, diminishing China's competitive advantage as the world's low-cost factory floor. For the first time in decades, the working-age population fell last year when about 3.5 million left the workforce. Last month, Beijing merged the Family Planning Commission with the Health Ministry and shifted population policymaking to its powerful economic planning agency, the National Development and Reform Commission, for the first time putting demographics at the heart of economic policymaking. If the government alters or scraps the one-child policy, it would affect the lives of millions of Chinese and affect policymaking across society and the economy, from housing, education, and healthcare to the labor market, pensions, and state investment. Reuters reported that former state councilors Song Jian and Peng Pei-yun, who once ranked above cabinet ministers and remain influential, have been lobbying China's top leaders, mainly behind closed doors. Song wants them to keep the policy, while Peng urges them to phase it out. Peng and Song, both in their 80s, have starkly different views of China's demographics, which today bear little resemblance to the youthful China of the 1970s. Peng Pei-yun, like many scholars, now believes it is time to relax the one-child policy. She first revealed publicly that her views had shifted at an academic conference in Beijing less than a year ago, a change rooted partly in economic concerns. By contrast, Song Jian, whose population projections form the basis of the one-child policy, argues that China has limited resources and still needs a low birth rate to continue economic development. Otherwise, Song says China's population would skyrocket, triggering food and other resource shortages. Opponents of loosening the policy, like Song, worry that there is not enough arable land and food to cope with the demographic change that it would bring. China has long worried about a shortage of arable land, as it uses 7% of the world's farmland to feed 19.5% of the global population. Peng's push for reform is buttressed by evidence from two-child pilot programs in 4 regions of the country where none have seen a surge in births. Song cites his own forecast that China's population, unchecked, would balloon to 2.2 billion in a century. During his career, President Xi Jinping has stressed that the population should be controlled, and many officials in China's most heavily populated provinces, such as Henan and Shandong, believe the one-child policy is still necessary. Reform advocates, however, point out that the ratio of taxpayers to retirees will decline from almost 5-to-1 to just over 2-to-1 by 2030, and that there are far fewer children to support their parents, a tradition since at least the time of Confucius. Shanghai is an example of what The Economist described as the demographic time bomb facing China, with its fertility rate at 0.7, among the world's lowest. Some experts say that scrapping the policy altogether would make little difference in practice. Surveys show that many parents in the cities want only one child anyway. Meanwhile, the average lifespan has continued to climb, transforming China into a rapidly aging society. Many believe the next step should be to allow all couples to have 2 children, and while many are coming around to that point of view, Many officials have so much invested in the current policy, making reform difficult to implement.